What's up, everybody? What's up, Purdue? We got King of Mackey join us today. Tommy Luce, excited to have you. Congratulations on a beautiful career. Just want to talk to you a little bit, man. Welcome to the Rapheal's den. I guess I'm gonna call. I just made that up on the spot. What's going on, Tommy?
Oh, not much, man. Glad to be here.
Yeah. So, Tommy, let's just how you doing, man? How's COVID affecting you? How are you working through it? Just kind of
Uh,
starting there.
yeah, it's been COVID's been a different, time for everybody. I'm trying to adapt to it best I can. Trying to, stay distance from people, which is pretty tough, my friends and family. But you gotta do what you gotta do right now, since we're in a different, just time period with everything going on. But yeah, it's definitely affected me. But I'm, pushing through like everybody else.
No, I got you. And definitely, Tommy, I just wanted to take it back a little bit, just to from the beginning of Tommy Luce. I know I met you when you were a senior in high school. You were visiting Purdue. We got to play 2-on-2. But just for the people that don't know, where does Tommy Luce come from? What's your background?
Yeah, well, so to start, I guess, basketball's been a big part of my life. I've always been around the game. I grew up all over the state I'm moving around a lot with my dad being a high school coach, and we probably moved 6 or 7 times growing up. But once I got to high school, I went to Richmond until I was a senior, and then moved to Jeffersonville down south by Louisville, and finished up there. But yeah, man, I just an Indiana kid and grew up a big Purdue fan. So it was just a blessing to be able to be a part of the team the last 4 years. And yeah, it's a good little background on me to start for you.
No, I got you. So you got to play in a lot of different cities, a lot of different competition.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have anybody that you were growing up? I saw a fan ask this just on Twitter. Did you have anybody you modeled your game after growing up? I know you're going city to city, but so was anybody you watched on TV that kind of you want to play after?
Yeah, I mean, my favorite player all time is Steve Nash. So I always you know watched a lot of his games growing up, and maybe didn't try to model my game after him, but just really respected his game and tried to put little bits and pieces in there. But watching so much basketball growing up, I was able to follow my dad being a high school coach, and just being a huge fan of the game. I got to see a lot of different great players throughout my childhood, and I kind of tried to grab bits and pieces and build it up. And the main thing I saw was from the best players on this team in high school. They always were the hardest workers and stayed after, shot a lot, and that's what I tried to do. Growing up, getting that extra work.
Oh, dope. Yeah, I like that, Tom. You kind of lead me into my next question is that a kid from Jeffersonville, close to Louisville, small kid, short kid. How does a kid like you end up on Purdue basketball team winning Big Ten championships?
Uh, well, I started my like recruiting process, I guess you could call it, was mainly like Division 3 schools, NAIA, and I really wasn't sure if I was going to go to those places, because they're a lot different than playing like a Division 1 level. You're not going to have the same type of atmosphere, the same type of just experience. It's not going to be the same experience. And Coach Paint is a really close family friend. He's one of my dad's good friends, and they've been friends ever since they were little kids growing up in Muncie. And he always kind of stayed in touch. And once when I was a senior, he saw that I had a good senior year. I was a good student, and he reached out to my dad and was like, "Hey, yeah, Tommy wants to walk on. He's got a spot." And that's when I came up and I did the workout. And after that, it was pretty much when he asked me if I'd like to walk on. And that's kind of how it all started.
So being a Purdue fan growing up, your dad obviously ingrained in basketball. So I'm assuming you were a huge Purdue fan.
Oh yeah.
When you got that information, you knew you were coming up to kind of go through a workout. What was kind of those emotions like? What did that feel like going into Cardinal Court, playing 2-on-2 with a washed up old player and some two other recruits? How was that?
That was like, I remember that day like it was yesterday, man. Like, that was an emotional roller coaster. I first I didn't know if I had what it took to be able to just be at Purdue and be in the practices, be like the guy on the team. And doing that workout, having you being there, and kind of calming my nerves a little bit. Uh, really it made me believe in myself and kind of think that I could do it. And when I got out there and I did my thing and had a good workout, I really started to think, yeah, this is something I could see myself doing for the next 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
What's really cool was when I first walked in. I mean, like I just said, I remember like it was just yesterday. I walked into Cardinal. And I was the first one there. Besides, on the other side of the court, uh, Vince Edwards and Robbie Hummel were shooting. And I was like, I walked in. I was like, man, this is what I'm really about to do. I'm about to be hooping with these guys. This is like different stuff going on. And
That's cool.
I'm glad I did. I joined the team and had a great run.
No, you had a great run. No, and I still remember, like you said, I still remember that day as well. I still remember the hood. That's why it'll never look right if you don't got your hood on to me. So no, you definitely came out. I know when I first saw you, just being honest, I was kind of like, who was the kid? And then you started making those shots. We were on 2-2. We started winning. We started talking some trash, and that's what I knew would be a good place for you. So while you were at Purdue, especially that freshman year, I know my roommate John McKeeman, he was a walk-on. I know people know the story behind Grady and I. I kind of always gravitated towards our walk-ons. But what was kind of that experience like for you? Was there any moments when you felt like you were tired of being a walk-on and you just didn't want to do it anymore? Just kind of take me through that experience for you.
Yeah. I mean, being a walk on is a different. It's just a different experience. Again, you know, um, it's tough. It really is, knowing that you're going to participate in practices, give it your all, and probably at the end of the day, you're not gonna like Grady's an exception. You're not gonna get the playing time that you're wanting, which is fine with me. I like was a huge Purdue fan, and I knew like looking at the guys on my team, I was like, man, these guys are all studs. Like I understood, but it's different. It's something that you have to get used to if you're a walk on. It's just a different experience, but it's pretty cool to have that role where you're making all the guys that are playing better and you're just a great teammate. That's what I took away from my experience was I really learned how to be a much better teammate from the time I got there to the time I ended. I tried to like pick guys up. I tried to do my best in practice, knowing that I was helping them for the games, and that's just some people probably don't look at it that way, but that's what I tried to take away from being a walk on, and it was a special experience for me.
And is that something that you had to learn over time, something that your father or someone put into you before you came, or was there someone at Purdue that kind of helped you with that process?
It was just a mix of all that. My dad was a great coach, and he gave me those ability like this. He taught me growing up, like you need to be a leader. You need to be someone that leads by example and does the right thing, has good grades, all those little things. And then I got to Purdue, and as soon as I get there, we have great leaders starting with you. We just had a good culture coming into it. You left it great, like got it going. Dakota, PJ, those guys, they kept it going, and it's just I learned a lot from them as far as like leading and what it takes to have a great basketball team and win games.
No, yeah, that's real cool, man. No, that's cool. And you had it, like you said, you had a great run. One of my favorite runs. I mean, I still remember when your freshman year was when I first moved to Atlanta, and like I said, when that first workout we had together, I was a Tommy fan from the very beginning. But while you're at Purdue through that run, I mean, you played with some studs, like you said. I mean, over the course of 4 years, I mean, you played with an NBA guy every season. So I'm gonna ask you a few questions about the guys you played with. Who would I say who would be your favorite teammate from that time? Or who was a teammate that kind of you leaned on or kind of you went to, or who was that guy for you?
Well, that's a tough question. I had a lot of great teammates while I was at Purdue. Uh, Man, probably like they were all I had great teammates. I can't really pick one, but if I had to pick one, I'd say Sash was probably like one of my best friends, like outside of basketball and in basketball. Like he's just a great dude, and I mean all of them are great dudes, but he was the one that I was going and getting lunch with him and dinner every day usually, and he was my roommate, so
No,
that's
that's
kind
how
of
it is. You always have a guy that you that you just naturally just go kick it with outside of the gym? So let me ask you another one. I'm gonna get deeper. Who's the best player you play with?
The best player I played with, now I a bunch of great players I played around too, but I mean Carson was just a different animal, man. Like Biggie was a great player, Dakota, Vince, PJ, all those guys, Isaac. I mean, they're all studs. But man, Carson, he was just a different beast. He'd go get you 30 a night. He really was just a great player. I mean, he gave me a lot of work, and he gave me the work in practice. I'll tell you that.
Nah, yeah, Carson's another guy my senior year that he came up on campus on a visit, kind of hosted him around on a football game. But like you, came in, made shots, had a lot of confidence, and kind of had a great run. I think y'all probably had. He may go down as the best class in the school history, I would say. But looking back on the time you had, looking back at the studs you played with, the NBA players you played with, what was that moment when you were labeled King of Mackey? How did that feel? What was that like? Take me through that.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome. That's nothing I was expecting coming into Purdue. That's something that just happened. It just kind of was something that I wasn't really thinking was going to happen. And it just not overnight, but it's kind of built up. I think the game that really flipped the switch was my sophomore year. We played Lipscomb, and I scored 4 points.
I remember that.
And that night, I get on ESPN, and like a whole bunch of stuff just started. It was a snowball effect. Like I went from just this random kid on the bench to King of Mackey, and everyone's hollering my name when I come in the game. But it was just a really cool experience to have that happen to me, and I just got lucky. Purdue's got great fans, and I'm pretty blessed to have that happen to me.
So Tommy, let me ask you this: if there's a kid coming up, maybe undersized, maybe not the best athlete, doesn't average 25 points a game, what's your advice to them for them not to give up on their goals?
And just don't ever stop believing in yourself. That's something I definitely reminded myself each day at Purdue. I knew I wasn't getting that time, and I was getting worked. I mean, I was around a bunch of great players, and I wasn't getting as many stops as I was hoping for, or they were giving me some buckets. And after that, I got to be like, man, remember who you're with. Like, you got great guys around you that are playing, but don't stop believing in yourself, because if you stop and give up, you're not gonna have success in your role. So that's what I would, that's the advice I would give to kids coming up. Don't ever stop believing in yourself, because you can make it one day. Whatever your dreams are, you can get there.
So Tommy, not like I said, King of Mackey. I know a lot of fans will definitely be excited to hear from you, especially knowing what you've done for the program, especially when I left. I would say when you speak about the culture, you were a mold of that culture. So I definitely appreciate everything you do and you did for the program and you still doing. But Tommy, I just got a few questions for you. Then I kind of want to catch up on what you're doing now. But favorite arena to play in? Just kind of go some rapid fire with you.
I mean, that's just bias, but non-Mackey would be Maryland. Maryland's for the pretty awesome gym, man. Not gonna lie. They have their student section called the Wall, and I was always a big fan of that. So.
And your freshman year, you guys won on those free throws, right?
Oh yeah.
How was that road win? How was that? How was that locker room experience after a freshman wins the game at the free throw line on the road?
It is unreal, man. I mean, we were all jumping around, dumped water on each other. I mean, it was pretty cool.
That's cool, man. That's cool. Best player that you've seen in person or played against?
Jalen Brunson, I think. Well, he was at Villanova. I mean, he was just a bucket.
I got you.
Good, man.
Yeah, Tommy. But Tommy, let everybody know what you're doing now. Let everybody know how they can find you.
Yeah, so now I am living in Indy, living downtown. I work for Shelby Materials as a sales rep, and then I also am coaching basketball for Greenwood High School for the varsity team.
Cool.
That's what I'm doing now.
And are you got aspirations to stay in the high school game? You want to get in the college ranks? Kind of your plans there.
I mean, maybe in the future. I got a good job with Shelby, and it's with being the time that we're in, it's good to just have a job. So down the line I could see myself maybe coaching, but I'm good where I'm at.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Tommy. King of Mackey. Again, we appreciate your time. We appreciate you as fans of what you did for Purdue. Elite Eight championships. I tell you, Tommy, 2013 felt felt worth it when I was able to come see you guys in the Elite Eight. So from me to you, I appreciate you. I'm a big fan. Always been a big fan. If you ever need me, just let me know. But thanks for joining us, man.
No, appreciate you too, man. Right back at you.
Yes, sir.